was out in Michigan, Detroit, and I was out there chilling with the team. Where shout out to ET and the rest of the Extreme Execution and the UOU community. And it was an amazing time, man. Like always, being around the like-minded individual. But God really was just as I was traveling on my own. You know when He catches you on those one-on-one. Yeah, man, he's been loud. He's been loud. So today, I want to talk about delayed, but not denied.
Welcome back to the Paralyzed and Prosperous Podcast. We focus on business, leadership, entrepreneurship, and of course, we're keeping it authentic. It's been a while since I got to talk to my family. We want to check in with y'all, man. How y'all doing today? Jorge, talk to me.
I'm good, man. You already know. Bless, and grateful, man. I mean, your boy's gonna be 47. I want to say that's in 2 weeks. Yeah, just in 2 weeks. And one of the things that I picked up in the last couple of years, guys, is to, from birthday to birthday, it's my New Year's, and so there's been a lot of reflection. There's been a lot of just like gratitude. Grateful. I'm grateful. Like, yo, be honest with you. Subconsciously, sometimes I gotta remind myself, man, I'm not in my 20s. I'm not in my 30s. And if you're not careful, man, you live this programming and you still stuck in a space and time or in a certain season, and life is still passing you by and you're not even aware of that. So I'm grateful, DJ. I'm grateful for my health. Most importantly, I'm grateful for life. I'm grateful for family. I'm grateful to be chosen. God has, chosen me even when I didn't know my own worth. Man, he knew what He wanted for me, what I was destined to, and so I just look back and I reflect. Man, 47. That means that I was talking to someone and they were like, "Yo, so like where you at?" And I'm like, "Yo, I have 53 summers left. I literally have 53 summers left." And they tilt the little head over and they're like, "What you mean 53?" Like I was like, "Yeah, if you think about it, man, I'm in a space right now that I'm looking at things different. If you think about 53 summers left, and some folks gonna be like, yo, like, so you gonna make it to 100?" I'm like, "Yup, I'll make it to 100, but not just making it to 100, but fruitful 100, right?" Some folks make it to 60, but the last 20 years are not healthy, are not good,
Right.
are not. It's so. That's where I'm at right now. And so just gratitude. Waking up every morning, and I tell you guys all the time. I'm like, yo, I always, when I open my eyes, first thing I say and I do is I be, yo, God, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. So that's where I'm at right now. Just came off of a trip that I went I was out in Michigan, Detroit, and I was out there chilling with the team. Where shout out to ET and the rest of the Extreme Execution and the UOU community. And it was an amazing time, man. Like always, being around the like-minded individual. But God really was just as I was traveling on my own. When He catches you on those one-on-one. Yeah, man, he's been loud. He's been loud. So today, I want to talk about delayed, but not denied. So yeah, man, I'll let Alalai, check in. But that's where I'm at, guys. That's where I'm at.
100%. 100%. And I like before you check in real quick, I wanted to talk about something he said. He talked about those 53 summers, having 53 summers left, right? And I talk to my grandma all the time. That's my best friend. I'm always messing with her. Y'all always see me messing with her. But it's like she always tells me, like, "Hey, grandson, I'm gonna die soon." You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm going to die soon, and I don't care if I live to 100 because I have a fulfilled life. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've done everything. I have you wonderful grandchildren. I've done all these things, but she understands that. Okay, I might not. I don't even want those 53 summers. Well, probably about 23 summers from her, but I don't want that because I had a fulfilled. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like it's so. It used to bother me so much that she said that because I'm like, bro, I want my grandma to live forever, but it's really just about living the life that you were supposed to. Living the life that God told you you're going to live, being who you say you are.
It's,
Things
it's
of that nature.
impact. It's impact, DJ. It's
Yeah,
impact. As you look back, how many people have you impacted? How many people have you fulfill? Like, have you what have you, with the opportunity to be able to come into this earth, what have you done with your time while in on this earth? And someone at that age, and says something like that. What she's saying is not that she don't want her next 20, because I don't think grandma's ready. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't say if it's healthy and she got loved ones around her. I believe that she wants her other 23 summers. But again, if daddy chose for her to come home, she's all right. She's planted her roots. Her legacy's here. You know what I'm saying? She's done, and I believe that's what. And we got to get grandma one of these days on the podcast, man. Yeah, shout out to grandma
Mhm.
Steve's, man.
Facts, facts. But yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, you're good. I've been really good, guys. I don't think I told you. I got a trainer, y'all.
Oh,
Your girl got a trainer. Your girl been going to the gym. This man's trying to kill me.
Let's go. Let's go.
But no,
Let's
it
go.
was good. So,
Go.
yeah,
She
I've
kept
just
that from us
been.
though. She you know what I'm saying? She kept that from us. Yeah, but let's go. Super proud of you.
you waited for the podcast. Respect.
Hey,
Yeah, that wasn't planned. It just happened that way. But no, yes, I've been working out with my trainer. It's been very interesting. I've had a trainer before, and this is a very different experience. One where he is not allowing me to get comfortable
Mhm.
literally day to day, from session to session. Things are changing so rapidly. And it's very interesting because he's always encouraging me to like go to the next step, get the next weight, even though I'm like, not sure
yep,
about that. But guess what? I get through the workout. So it's been very revealing about, just a true core strength that I have that maybe I don't use. That's a whole nother lesson for another podcast. But no, it's good. It's been good. Man, just chilling. Looking forward to Jorge visit that's coming up. Looking forward to that. And yeah, been good, man. Just chilling and always ready for this podcast.
let's go. Let's
Oh
go.
man, always ready for the podcast. I love it,
Always
man.
ready because there's always some juice
So
that's
check
gonna
this
come
out.
out of it. So
So since we use, so kind of before we get into this, I got a little something for my grandma, right? I was at my grandma's house, right? And for her, Roku TVs are big. Everybody got a Roku TV. So we got a Roku TV for her room and her front room. So if she ever lost the remote, she can use either one of the remotes, right? So she lost the remote for her room, and I was staying at her house. I was staying at her house, and so we was both upstairs because we were both about to go to bed. She said, "Grandson, go downstairs and get that Roku for me." Right?
oh my
So I went
gosh. Okay.
downstairs. I went downstairs and I took a little. I said, "Okay, okay, interesting smell." So I went back upstairs. I said, "Grandma, did you because did you let off some flatulence downstairs?" And she said,
No,
"Yes."
you didn't.
Grandson, yes, because I didn't think anybody else was going down there. And I just want to know, is that cool or is that ooh, Jorge?
That's cool, man. And I hope we're talking about she let go of a gas.
Yeah, little guy. And the
Uh,
reason why I'm bringing this up is because my whole life, she
hey,
literally will take out a belt if I decided
hey,
to even
let, let
do
me
that
let me
anywhere.
let me keep it 100 with y'all,
I
man.
love
Listen,
it.
I grew up in a household where it was my grandmother, my aunt, all cousins, all females, and it was probably just myself, my grandfather, which he was a statue unless he was actually drunk, and that's when you wouldn't hear the man. Like my man did, if he wasn't drunk, you would not know that there was another man in the house. Like my man was a shadow, period, right? And
Hmm.
when he was drunk, there was two personalities. He was the Joker or destructive. It was like gambling. You didn't know what you was gonna get with dude. But I say that because to be honest with you, my grandmother, man, listen, that's how my grandmother, she used to blow one down, just like she used to just pick up her
Oh my
cheek
gosh.
and just like, "Prah," and it would just sound like one of those mopeds, like or fireworks. And it was just like when I tell you, it was done in the grocery stores. It was done in the. She did not care. Like yo, people would what like what the like what and we would just roll. I would be dying, right? So I grew up in a household where that
Oh
was
my
like when I
gosh.
met Kayla, and I'm comfortable with it. Like if we love ones, we live together. I'm gonna let one loose. Kayla be like, Kayla didn't start farting until about 10 years into the relationship. And it
Damn,
was
man.
and it was just like at this point she figured I'm not going nowhere, and so she got tired of probably going, and so just recently she because she did she did a deli one. I was like, bro, like what, you got a dead animal inside of you, like what are we doing?
Oh, man.
So she was just like, bro, she went back to like, yo, I'm not even gonna get comfortable with you no more. I was like, stop that, man. But so you, to answer your
Y'all
question,
are wrong.
yeah,
Y'all are
listen,
wrong
just to
for
answer your
exposing the
question,
women
man,
on the
go
podcast.
grandma,
Y'all are wrong.
go grandma, go grandma, go grandma. I would encourage grandma, let one off right now. Like make sure, like you stink up the whole house. Let them get out of here. Yeah, I'll be
Oh
right
wow.
with it.
Oh
Hey,
wow. So, so my guy Jorge,
yes,
he went in on the subject. So I'm gonna get back. I'm
yes.
gonna come back to the podcast. I'm gonna come back to the podcast
Not
on
you
that one.
exposing
And hey,
grandma.
I
Hey,
am weak. Hey, but hey, I told y'all my
we
grandma's my best friend. So if she gonna be take that best friend role, listen, she gonna have to get treated like my best friend, and that's
yeah.
just is what it is.
Grandma,
But
grandma is
check this out
A1
though.
on my book. I applaud it. I think that especially if you're in your house, man. Listen, any corner you want, grandma. Any corner you want, man. Listen, she's not doing it in the grocery store. She's not doing it in front of, like, you know what I'm saying. She's doing it at home. So yeah, I'm team. I say yay. I believe she is in all rights to let one loose, and yeah, and you just be comfortable and walk into it. I like she said, I didn't think nobody was gonna be downstairs.
I'm weak. Hey, I feel you. You know, Jorge's always gonna be on grandma's side. Of
Oh
course, he
All
my
is.
day.
gosh.
There's nothing she gonna do
But
that I won't back her up, man.
I feel it. I feel it. But hey, I got to go back to what Adelaide was talking about. First of all, she kept that as a secret. You know what I'm saying? I understand that we like to put stuff out on the podcast. So that was a good one. That was a good one. But I
Mm-mm.
think that I want to talk about that trainer thing because I think it segues us into our subject today. And Jorge, I'm going to ask you specifically, why you chose this subject, but I'm gonna kind of talk about this real quick. So she talked about trainer, right? I also got a new trainer, two of them. And the thing
Mhm.
about it is, it's like right now I understand the season I'm in with my body, and we talked about this before. But it's like I understand what I want to be, I understand where I'm at, and so I move accordingly because, like I said, I understand where I'm at and I understand where I want to be. So it's like this whole time, my whole life, I've been tall, long. I've been able to dunk because of those situations, right? But I've never been athletic. And people always say, well, he just don't, or he just wasn't born with it, right? And I always
Hold
like,
up.
oh,
Hold
always.
up. Hold up. Did you just say you weren't athletic?
No, okay. In basketball terms, I'm not athletic. It's hard to explain. Like if you don't play basketball, there's
Y'all
taller
don't let
people
this man
who can
fool
jump
you.
and dunk,
He
who can
played in the
jump and
league,
dunk.
y'all, overseas. Don't let him fool you. Non-athletic people do not make it to the league, any league.
But hear me out. But hear me out though. So
Okay.
again, I personally, as an athlete, as an elite athlete, if I want to put myself up there, I wouldn't say that I was in those realms with my athleticism. I was in those realms with how I played. I was in those realms with my mindset, but athleticism was always something that I specifically had to work on, right? But I understood though. I understood that there's people working on their bodies every day and getting better. So I'm not sitting here going. I'm not going to listen to these people telling me that you wasn't born with it. Oh, you'll never jump like that. It was just delayed. It wasn't denied, right? And so now I
Mhm.
understand now with the yoga, with these trainers that I have, with telling these trainers like, nah, bro, 15 ain't enough. Give me 20. You know what I'm saying? I understand the goal, and I understand now that my body's changing. My body's changing to a
Yeah.
point that I can jump to a point that I couldn't when I was 20 years old. I'm almost 30, y'all. You know what I'm saying? I'm treating my body, my mind, the way I eat differently. So it's like
Mhm.
that athleticism that I wanted just delayed. And if I listen to these people about, oh, you just don't have it, man. God didn't give it to you, or you shoot, you just can't. I would have been tripping. I would have just been sitting around, not worried about
Mhm.
how I can get to that next level. But I understand it was just delayed, not denied. You
Mhm.
know what I'm saying? So that's kind of what I took from that subject when Jorge put it on the table. But I would
Mhm.
love to hear why specifically you put it on the table, Jorge.
Yeah, nah, I'll be honest with you, and I received that, man. And we all have these seasons, man. I'll be honest with you, we all have these seasons where we put everything we have into something. We have expectations. aspire to step into certain rooms, and boom, that door gets closed in front of us. And so just this season, there's been some things that I've been working on the back end, in my educational journey. And I'll be honest with you, as I share with you guys, we've been working towards a certain objective, and achieving certain task by a certain time frame. And it didn't turn out the way I planned it. It didn't work out how I wanted to, and it was a no. That's not happening right now. And when I first had that news, I got bumped out. I was in DR, mind you, man. I was in the beach, and literally on the
Mhm.
beach, literally clear sun, water, like clear water. The palm trees. Just the in the on the island. And none of that mattered to me, because that news kind of like just put a cloud over everything. And so I want everybody to understand that, even at that moment when I had that news, and it didn't give me I didn't receive the news I was expecting, right, guys? And I'm
Mhm.
not gonna lie to you, I went through the motions. I got upset. I was a little like it hit me, and I was just like, I started reflecting. Actually, before I started reflecting, because there was no reflecting, it was quick action to call and get on the other end. So I'm in DR calling the US and talking. I want to talk to somebody. If you know me,
Mhm.
I don't let things, like, man, listen, I'm so driven, and I'm so, I know what I want, and I know when I want it and how I want it. And so as soon as I got that respond, I got that email, I went and made a phone call, and I reached out to certain people, and I wanted an answer, like, why this didn't happen, and so I want to talk about this, because a lot of folks, when they go through a certain journey, and they put everything they have, and they have all these expectations, and the world comes back and punches them in the face and say, nah, you're not getting that. Your majority of folks will stop doing what they said they were going to do. And so,
Mhm.
my whole mindset, and it reminded me, it took me back to day one, me falling into the wheelchair. It took me back to my childhood. Like, I've been deprived for so many things, and I've been people has always tried to deny certain spaces to me, and tell me that I'm not good, that I'm not able, that I don't have the skill set. I'm not physically, mentally, developed to be able to do XYZ, as I'm hearing you, even with the sports, right? Like, you have your peers, you have society, you have people around you. Most important, people that love you, and they put their lack of expectations on you, right? They put their challenges on you, and it's like, no, you can't do that. And so I praise God again for the that thing we call willpower. And so I literally was in a space that it reminded me that I was like, yo, like, Jorge, you've always been, things never came easy to you. There was always a delay. And God was always real quick to remind me. It's like, yo, delay but not denied. And so I quickly got on the phone, made a phone call, got on a, spoke with a certain individual, made an appointment, and we was gonna find out. I needed to know exactly where did I go wrong, what happened. And so I want to talk about this, because again, I truly believe that what happens, not only in our personal lives, in relationships, right, with a significant other, what happens in business, right? Because this podcast, we talk about, life and business. And so
Mhm.
individuals tend to literally, you know they get their wind knocked out of them, and then they stop doing what they said, because they sit in the emotion of rejection. And so, the reason why you not winning is because you give up when things get tough, when opposition kicks in, when things start getting challenging, when it starts stretching you, when they tell you, oh no, you don't belong in this room. And so you take that person's word, or you just take that how you call it, that defeat, better for better word, and you turn around, put your head down, and keep walking. And so I want to just remind you that, yo, it's not over until God said it's over. That's it. It's not over until God said it's over. And so when I fell into the wheelchair, I remember people telling me, like they looked at me like, "Wow, like you done? Like you you in the wheelchair? Like what you gonna do now?" I
Mhm.
remember when I first started barbering. I remember people looking at me like, "Yo, like I don't know what you're doing, but." Right, I remember starting my journey into school and going into getting my GD and going to college. Like I remember that. I remember people telling me like, "Yo, like you crazy? Like that's like why would you?" Like I remember that. I remember getting into certain spaces, not knowing what the expectation and doors being closed, and I'm like, okay, the difference between then and now is that I was ignorant to the fact, and I didn't have what we call right now all this information, and it wouldn't interfere with just me stepping into who I knew. At back then, I didn't have nothing to lose, guys. So it didn't matter. Like if they close one door, I'm like, yo, I'm gonna find another door because I didn't have nothing else to lose. And when you get to a point
Right.
of success or you get to a point of growth, we tend to start compromising with ourselves. We tend to get timid. We tend to let the world tell us like, yo, nah, like you're not good enough, and then you believe that. And so I'm grateful to remind that God reminds me of who I am, and I am everything He says I am. Right? I am the big I am, and so I will. It will be delayed, but I promise you, it's not going to be denied. And so I wanted to share this with everybody on the podcast because there's something that you're going through right now, and there's some things that you started off this year, and because it didn't turn out the way you wanted to, you stopped doing what you said you was going to do, and then you moved on to the next thing. And so that's where that start and stop comes in. Start and stop comes. There is no plan B, guys. As I'm sitting here, like I'm like, yo, how can we get this podcast more popping? As I sit here, I'm thinking like, yo, how are we gonna get into more schools and how are we gonna get right? Because even the degree that I'm chasing is not gonna determine the quality of life we have right now. That's just the
Mm.
cherry on top. When we're not gonna wait until we get a degree to start acting a part, right? And so
Mhm.
delayed but not denied, man. So yeah, that's the spirit and where I wanted to speak on that because I truly believe that one of the things that we struggle with is that other people's qualifying us, other people's telling us, because you fall short, you're not enough, and so it could be that just that opportunity is not the opportunity for me. But does it mean that this is that I should stop doing what God put in front of me? No.
Yeah, I fuck with
Mhm.
it. Because I was watching Ted Lasso. I don't even know if y'all know what that is, but
Nah.
this is so. This man's stupid. Like, no matter what happens, he's dumb positive about everything, and it does
Mhm.
something to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's weird, but it does something to me. It's like, okay, I understand that no any situation can be but it's all that to say, he says that when people are, you know, projecting those thoughts upon you or saying that, okay, maybe you aren't good enough right now, is because they're not curious enough. You know what I'm saying? People, as you get older, you lose your curiosity. And so you start hating on people around because you don't get, like, you're not curious about why this person's like this or why they talk like that or why they do that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just a reminder, like, we can't,
Mhm.
we need to not lose our curiosity as we get older and as we progress because there's always going to be something to be curious about. You know what I'm saying? But
Mhm.
I would love to hear, what you think
Yeah,
about that.
Before you jump in there, I just want to give you an analogy that you probably heard prior to this podcast and in a different episode. Right? There's a meme where there's this guy cutting through the caves, and then he's about to hit strike gold, but he stops and never gets to the goal. Right? DJ told me I can't share that with you guys because I already had said it in a different episode. But here we are. We gonna share this with your guy.
Hey, and
Hey,
he said
Isaiah,
he
keep
said
this keep this clip in there. All right, I'm sharing with you guys. All right, right. There's a guy digging into the cave, and I want to drill this.
oh my god,
Don't stop digging because you're about to hit gold. All right, I'm sorry, Alan. I just had to
that's
I
real.
did that. Let's
You are
go.
funny. Guys, we have so much side conversation before we get on podcast. So there are a lot of inside jokes that tend to happen. So you see us like giggling and snickering, that's typically what it is. But in terms of like being delayed but not denied, man, I'm gonna keep it 100.
Please,
Sometimes I feel like you definitely have to take a step back and ask some very hard and honest questions. Are you delayed because of your own doing? So is it self-inflicted
Mm-hmm.
delay, right?
Mm.
Um, there are times I know just some conversations that I've had just throughout the years with people, and you, each one of us has to be able to really assess the situations that we deal with day by day and ask, did I do everything in my power to set me up for success, whatever that success was, so that I could gain entry, gain acceptance, get promoted, get whatever the thing is, right? And what I have seen is that there are a lot of people who, we talked about this in another podcast, they're willing to put their life, their outcomes, their success in other people's hands, right? They don't take accountability for their own success and their own progression. And so I think it's almost comforting for them to be able to say, well, got denied, well, got delayed.
Yeah.
And it, truth be told, I think a lot of people don't actually want to put in the work that is necessary. Or they get into these situations and they say, I want to become number one in whatever the category is, right? And then they'll
Mhm.
start working. And then you have a reality check of what it actually takes. Going back to school, getting certifications, going to conferences, networking, doing all of the things, and a lot of the things that you might not even be comfortable with doing, but you have to do if you want to be the best at whatever it is you're claiming, right? And so I think what happens is some people get that reality check and they're like, I ain't trying to do all that.
Yeah.
So
Real.
it's easier to just say, well, I got denied, right? But you didn't show up 100%. You weren't consistent. Like, you didn't truly invest in yourself. There are some people that will say, well, I tried, and they're comfortable with that
Yeah.
because
Mhm.
going back to programming, there are a lot of people in their lives that tell them they can't do it anyway.
Yeah.
So they hit that little bit of opposition. They're like, oh, denied. Okay, well, all my friends and family were right. It's time for me to fall back. I'll go do something that I'm more comfortable with and that I know I can be successful with.
But Alalai,
So
just even that, right? Like Alalai, not to interrupt you, but like, yo, I don't know how people are comfortable with that scenario, right?
it's
Like that.
predictable.
It's
It's
crazy because
predictable.
like even in this situation that I'm explaining, it ate me up. It's eating me up, mind you.
Sure.
What if you know me? What was the first thing I did? If you guys really
Self
know me, what?
assessment, yeah.
Huh?
Oh, you self assess.
Right? And what was that self-assess look like? If you know me,
Oh Lord, not
I
on the
mean, really,
spot.
what is
You wonder what, yeah, what could you have done? What did you do? What did
I
you
put
miss?
I put it on me.
Yeah.
mhm.
If you know me, I don't. This is across the board with anything I do. Like I've
Hmm.
just give grace to God because I don't give that excuse to anybody. Whether Alalai, you
But,
did what you like.
but Jorge, the
I
thing that you have to realize, you are not the majority of the
no
population.
no, I was, and this is what I'm trying to explain to people. We were all at that one point in our lives. All three of
Hmm.
us have been able to develop ourselves, and we were intentional. And once we got a taste of it, we wanted more, and we continue to develop, and we're still going to continue to develop. So, I disagree with we're not like we come from that. Like at one point, we didn't have the information. At one point, we didn't have the support. At one point, like we've been in situations where everything went wrong. So my
Yeah.
biggest thing is that, and this is, I just want to free somebody. I want to really free somebody because
Hmm.
this is not. I'm not talking about this because I want to make it about me. I really
Hmm.
wanted to bring this up because not only I'm in the midst of it, but the first thing I did was like, just going back to what you said, I lied. Like I put that
Hmm.
on me. I did just enough.
Hmm.
So even though it stinged and it didn't feel good, I was like, oh, okay, you was playing around. Like let's just be honest with you. You thought that you could do what you do on the regular, just show up, and because you show up, you're gonna get it checked off. And so
Hmm.
that within itself taught me a lot. But I just want to challenge people because I do believe it's what you're saying, Alalai, right? Some people just, and these are the folks, right? I got a couple of loved ones around me. They have these dreams and they are inspired to become XYZ. But when it comes to these processes, like you said, Alalai, right? And the challenge goes in there. It's so easy for them to just say, oh, "Okay, I at least tried." And so
Yeah.
I want you guys to understand it's not the season, it's not the actual situation, it's not that's specific, it's the pattern of how you continue doing everything in your life. When it gets hard, you just turn around and say, well, okay, this is not the door, I'm gonna choose another door. And that's why
Well,
you
let's break that down.
what
Let's
was
break
that?
that down a little bit,
Yeah.
right? I said let's break that down a little bit, right? So in my head, just patterns, right? Thinking about what helped propel you, or I'll speak to my own situations, what helped propel me bit by bit, right? I think we said in a previous podcast, it is making a decision every moment, every single day to keep pushing, keep get better, not stay stuck, to grow. But that's making a decision. That's making a decision. And at any point in time, I can look up and say, you know what, I'm not really happy where I am right now, and I want better. But I have to make the decision after that revelation to go get better.
Right.
That's one part. We people overlook the power of a decision. Decisions are powerful,
It's every
especially when you're making them consciously, right? When you can make a conscious decision, they are powerful. Okay, so cool. You made a decision. Next step. I know something that helped me deeply. I had people that were willing to invest in me, right? I had mentors, or I had friends. Maybe it was financial support, maybe it was prayer, maybe, but the investment was there. Then I found myself investing financially in groups with other like-minded people who were
Mhm.
trying to do better. Not trying, they were taking the steps of their day-to-day life. Maybe that meant there was a promotion on the job. Maybe that meant they wanted to be more consistent about what time they got up in the morning. Whatever their thing was, it was being in a collective of people purpose to do better. And that, by, I won't say by itself, but that played a very vital role into help keep going. A lot of people don't have those communities, which we've talked about this, coming around the fire, getting the mentorship, getting coaching, doing the things that help you progress. So there's all of it works together, right? So it's to have the revelation of, okay, man, I'm making decisions that are keeping me in a state of denial or state of being delayed. And
Mhm.
then, like, okay, I've had my awakening, I've had my
Mhm.
revelation, let me shift a little bit. And sometimes you got to take the free low cost stuff. Maybe that means, Facebook groups, I don't know. And but you grow from there, right? You find places that nurture you, and not a lot of people take that step.
True.
but what
That's true.
but okay, so let's like okay, I guess the reason I want to add, just kind of speak on this is because I really want to help folks, man. And we're in the season, we always talk about just showing people the how, you know um you know DJ, for those individuals that are facing a situation right now that they're not getting the answers they want, they're not getting the
Mhm.
results they're looking for, right? Like it's yo, entrepreneurship, I put entrepreneurship, let's put business aside, life,
Life.
Life.
life, life, it's gonna, this life, you have to be able to take a punch, and life is always gonna check you and remind you, or try to make you something that you're not. I always tell people, like, this is where you have to be so intentional in not only understanding who you are, what you stand for, because if you don't have those foundation, and we always speak about that, about this in our podcast, right? It's like, yo, you have to have a why, you have to have some values. If you don't know what you stand for, then, yo, believe it or not, the world is going to tell you what you stand for. They're going to give you, you're going to adapt other people's values. And within that self, it's just not going to feel comfortable because it's not true to who you are. And you're going to find yourself always in spaces where you feel like you're not enough, right? I
Right.
promise you, even this situation, when it gets to the end of this journey, if it's still a no, guess what, guys? I'll eat that. But
Hmm.
it's not gonna be because of lack of Jorge not doing what he needs to do. So if you know me, I self-evaluate and I was like, oh, okay, I ain't no punk. I ain't no
Well,
punk.
even
So
that, can I just say something real quick to
yep.
that? You took, and this I guess would be like a point two for me, is right. If you are in a situation where you get denied, right, what feels like denial, can you humbly accept the criticism and the feedback people are giving you, and then put something into place so that you can get what you want?
All day. And you know how? You know how? Because at that point, right? My next level to this is really taking the notes of what I wasn't doing.
Mhm.
right? You usually have one or two more shots after that door gets closed. And so now I'm
Mhm.
taking an evaluation of, okay, Jorge, where did we go wrong? And mind you, after the conversation with that individual, there was clear, boom, one, two, three. There was clear. Some of y'all don't even take the time to identify what are those areas because you're emotionally
Yes.
distraught and you emotionally in your motion. Oh, I got denied. Get past that. What you should be seeking is like, okay, what happened? the what went wrong? Did I fall short because I just didn't qualify? Did I fell short because it's not that I didn't qualify, but there was just better candidates than me, right? Like
Mhm.
there's many there's many different scenarios in the situation. So instead of me sitting in my emotions and sitting there, I went and seeked out the why this
Mhm.
didn't happen. Once I understood the why, I was able to identify the one, two, and three things that Jorge was not applying. And so
Mhm.
now we got to get to work. Now I understand. Now there's a different plan because now I have to be intentional because I know it wasn't lack of me not showing up. It wasn't lack of me not doing what I needed to
Yes.
do. It was just lack of me not understanding what was required.
Exactly.
I
Mhm.
was I,
Exactly.
And
I
that's
was I
what's.
was going left and they were talking about it was the right side of things. And so
Mhm.
I was like, oh, okay, but if I would have never stepped in and put my emotions aside, I would have always thought that I'm just not. And that person was like, no, 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 no. I don't want you to get it twisted. It's not that
Mhm.
you're not able and in position. What it was is
Mhm.
that this type of program seeks to lead more towards the right than what they do towards the left. If
Mhm.
it was there's other schools that turn to lean more to the left than instead of going to the right, right? And so when I got that information, I was like, okay, say no more. There's another plan. And now, mind you, once that other opportunity comes in, I've been working on what was suggested to me, and we're gonna hit all cylinders, and we're gonna attack that in a different manner, and very aggressive. But now surrounding myself by those areas of lack of information that I had, and we're gonna go again when that time comes, and it's a no, right? If it's a no, and God, and that's what God, just that's not the door. I will be happily to say I give it everything I have. Right? I would be
Mhm.
proud of myself because I did not shy away from that giant. I did not shy away from that intimidation. And so that's my biggest thing. It's not so much about you actually not getting to where you hope to be or you inspire to be, because sometimes, like you said, you got to humbly receive that it's not in your wheelhouse. It's not where God wants you to be.
Mhm.
But I promise you, when I was younger, DJ, I didn't care who it was. You challenged me, you disrespected me. I was gonna get right in front of the situation. And mind you, if you had your name in my mouth, I wasn't gonna wait for you to find me. I was gonna receive that. DJ's looking for me. What I do, I'm gonna find DJ. What's up, DJ? I heard you looking for me. What's going on? That was
Mhm.
my demeanor. It's always been my demeanor. So I want everybody to understand, like, don't let these problems take over your emotion. Don't let these situations take over what you're doing. Because if you want a peace of mind, man, always address the problem, have a solution for it, and attack it as best as you can. And whether you win or lose, you already won because you hit that situation. You face that giant right in front of you in such a way that it's like, yo, whether win, lose, or draw,
Mhm.
I'm always going to be here for the challenge. And when you have that
Right.
mindset, you have that mentality, there's nothing the world's going to throw at you that you're not going to be able to bob and weave. And if when you do get connected, because it's not if you're going to get hit. I promise you, it's life. You're going to get hit. Do you have
Yeah.
the foundation? Do you have the core to take that punch and say, oh, okay, I'm going to watch for that punch next time because that didn't feel too good. But you're going to keep moving forward. So that's just my take on
Right.
it.
Right.
But it's
Hey
good
man,
though,
listen.
because one of the things
Yeah.
about that I want to just like I have to emphasize about people because I think these are the steps that people miss, right? All right, you didn't get what you wanted, felt like denial, you immediately went to go ask questions. The beauty about you asking the questions, receiving the feedback, is that you went ahead and started putting a plan together and you walked out of that one conversation more educated and better equipped to get the thing that you wanted.
Facts.
Which is why
Facts.
you're able to confidently say, "Oh yeah, just a delay, not a denial."
Exactly.
But you
That's
walked away from that more educated. So you can't running from asking the hard questions, run the self-evaluation, avoiding the criticism. it's actually slowing you down from getting the thing that you want.
Right.
Hey, you could
And I
sit in
think
there.
that's what it's
Go
too,
ahead,
bro.
D.
Like I think one huge thing about this is, bro, do you know how lucky do you know how lucky we are to be delayed? Like these things are delayed. You know what I'm saying? Like, and on top of that, do you know how lucky we are that things are getting denied so early because we're not ready for them? Like, imagine if we got access to everything that we wanted, everything that we asked for, everything we prayed for, bro.
I've
There
been
would be
there.
I know.
handicap. There would
I've
be
been there.
handicap. I've been there too. I've been there too, and it handicapped me so much,
I
bro.
just
It
want to let you
handicapped me so
know.
much
I
to the
want
point
you
I
to
didn't even
know.
play.
I want you to know. Handicap is not a politically correct in the disability
Oh my
work
goodness.
in the
I'm sorry.
community. I just want you. I just want. Hey, I learned this.
Fair.
I want to put you on, and I'm disabled, but it's not. I
This
guess it's
okay.
not properly correct to say
Hinder
handicap.
you. It hindered you.
Disabled mindset. I like that better.
Let's go. I didn't make
Okay.
up the rule. I'm trying to put you on.
We
Can I
didn't
be
make up the
honest with
rules,
you?
but we
Not to
followed
cut
them. But
not
yeah.
to cut you off, right? But I'm part of a board of
Okay.
disabled, I, and
Mhm.
I'm like yo talking about handicap. Like I
It's me.
just trying.
Like,
Okay,
like
well,
I
we're
said,
all
y'all,
learning.
I'm just
we be
trying to
learning
teach.
about each other's stuff on the podcast. Like I didn't know that. I did not know that, Jorge.
It's not properly.
But
It's not properly. The proper etiquettes to speak to someone that's disabled. Talking about a handicap. So
that's fair.
go ahead.
I
My apologies.
appreciate that. I appreciate that. Now I just wanted to say this last thing of when it does come down to delay but not denied. Like we said, we're gonna start off. Things are going to be delayed. Again, it's not denied. But one thing that I've learned over time is that things stop getting delayed. You know what I'm saying? As you get better, yes, it's going to get delayed. I mean, denied early, but you get better. You learn more. You
Mhm.
you put that 10,000 hours in, and then you go from okay, delayed but not denied. Say that's a 2 month thing. Say it's a 2 year thing. Okay, boom, you get access. The next thing, it goes to a year. The next thing, it goes to 6 months because you're getting better over time, and you're learning from those mistakes or learning from that delay. Because delayed
Mhm.
gratification, bro, is one of the best things you can ever do for yourself, or one of the best things that can happen to you. You know what I'm saying? So,
Hey, it's a different note to look at this, and so like again, I want y'all, and I don't want to be sounding egotistical on this, on here because folks could probably be like, oh, okay, like you that's you must be one of those 1% or whatever the story is. I'm not. I know what it is to always be denied or people try to deny it, and I've always taken that as doctors told me
Mhm.
29 years ago I would never walk again. Guess what? I just walked across stage and received a degree. Like I'm accustomed to people telling me that I can't and I won't do certain things. So I apologize, and I don't say these, and I don't come across here just to try to be, arrogant. But I apologize because I don't receive that. I don't receive that in my spirit. I refuse. Now I also know. I'll say this in the same breath that I just said everything. I also know that when God doesn't denies you, it's because He has something better for you. So
mm-hmm.
I
Mhm.
promise you, you know what I'm saying? When I go back to that second chance, that third, like it'll be clear when it's like, no, this is not it.
Mhm.
I'm gonna be like, all right, God, I hear you now, right? Because now
Mhm.
Jorge was in his flesh. Because I'm that's just what I'm accustomed. I'm accustomed to not taking no for an answer. I'm accustomed to just the world tell me otherwise and doubt me and question me. I'm accustomed to that. And so naturally, my program is like, oh, okay, you keep thinking I'm not gonna step into that. You keep thinking I'm not
Right.
gonna go into that room. And so the only one that's gonna truly deny me or deny you is gonna be God. And the only reason He's gonna deny you is because He has something better for you. And at that point, I'm a praise God because again, Daddy, you chose me. Now it's just a matter of redirecting and understanding where is exactly God wants you and why is it that we went through that experience. So mind you, it's just having the awareness, guys. It's having the awareness. It's just understanding number one who you are, understanding that this emotional thing. I tell people all the time, man. Majority of folks, there's 60% of folks in the world. 60% of the folks in the world lead with emotion. 60%,
Mhm.
right? Talking about understanding that only what 12% lead in details and 28% lead in task, right? Like I mean, a 12% lead in task and 28% lead in detail, but the other 60% lead in emotion. That's just to tell you, the majority of the folks, that are finding themselves with challenges and doing the start and stop, start and stop, start and stop, is because you are in your emotions. And I want you to really self-evaluate, like, why is it that we're not winning? And so one of the reasons is because, again, you take something that's telling you you're delayed, and you're taking it like, yo, I just got denied. All right. And then some of
Mm-hmm.
y'all, just got to receive it. Like, God just don't want you in there. And that's all right. Right. And you got to be able, as long as you did everything you needed to do to be able to step in there and give yourself a chance. So that was my whole concept in today's podcast, guys, is really just want to help somebody out there, man. Like, whatever it is you're doing right here, on your journey to, greatness, right? Financial freedom, financial, wealth, right? Like just again, having the time. One thing that COVID taught me and taught all of us is that having control is a beautiful thing, right? Not being in a position where I have to sell my time for money. Like, that's not it no more. That's not sexy. That was sexy 40 years ago. That's not it no more. And so, there's this thing called, freedom in time. And so, we started the podcast. I told you guys I have 53 summers left. 53 summers left. So we don't have time to. I don't have time to sit here and you know and reinvent the wheel if not need to, right? I have to be true to what I put in front of me. I have to make the proper adjustments. So I hope I help someone today with understanding that, yo, be bold. Be bold in what you want. Be bold in what you inspire to do. But with that comes a responsibility, and you can't sit there and just allow somebody's opinion or somebody's you know uh, what is it, breakdown of qualification. You just need to understand, where did you go wrong, where are you going wrong, what are the areas you're winning, and what are the adjustments you have to do for you to be able to get to that next level. And you walk into that, and if truly at the end of everything that you've done, and adjustments, and you gave it everything, still that door doesn't open, receive it. God has something better for you. And at that point, you turn around and you continue to walk forward, and you go into that next door that God has for you, because that's going to be bigger and better for you. So that's my 2 cents for today, man. I appreciate y'all, man. With the, it will, your delay doesn't define you being denied, man.
Hey, delayed but not denied. Delayed but not denied. Another authentic conversation from the Paralyzed to Prosperous Podcast. Check this out. We're gonna come back with another one next Wednesday at 12 o'clock. We'll see y'all next week.
Bye.
Peace.